Welcome to our Wednesday night, Inspiring Healthy Living. My name is Elaine Mason. I have been on this health journey now for 24 years, being part of a community of people who have a desire to take their health to the next level and to inspire others to do the same. You are in for a treat because we are going to hear from Susan Fulkerson and Allison Hodges, who are sisters and two of my very dearest friends, shared their journey of what it was that piqued their interest in healthy living, in whole food nutrition. Their story is inspiring, difficult to hear, but sometimes it's those things that happen in our life that shake us, that get us pointed in the right direction. And so I can't wait for you to hear their stories. We're going to take a little bit of time and talk about some statistics in our country today in regard to health, which unfortunately it's not good news. But behind that, we're going to hear some good news about things we can do to make a difference in our health. We're going to hear from a young college student, Riley Mitchell, who is an inspiration to me for someone that young who gets the big picture of what it takes to be healthy. And so you're in for a treat hearing from her. And then we will wrap it up at the end, just kind of sharing a little bit about just your opportunity to join us on this mission. So we will jump right in and get started. So thank you for sharing your just a few minutes this evening with us.
Well, I'll get us going. I'm Susan and my sister Allison. We're glad to be here and to share our story. And it basically started in February of 1997. So it would be really when I would say we were first aware of health and nutrition. And I was 34 years old. I had just found out that I was pregnant with my fourth child. And out of the blue one day, I got a phone call from my mom. And she was frantic and she said, "I'm at the ER with your father. He woke up this morning. He had a terrible, terrible headache. And we didn't know what to do. So I took him to the ER. And at first, the doctor thought that he had a middle ear infection. And at the last minute, the doctor said, let's just do an MRI. So they did an MRI, and the doctor walked into the room and said, "You have 3 tumors on your brain." And in the next 24 hours, we found out that Dad also had a tumor on his left lung, his left kidney, and that he had stage 4 melanoma. And they told us there are no survivors with stage 4 melanoma. And they said he has about 6 months to live max. So, as you can imagine, that rocked our world. My dad was 59. He was active. He played tennis. He played racquetball. He was lean. He felt great. We thought we were healthy. I mean, how do you go from living a full life and feeling great, and then the very next day you're told you have stage 4 melanoma? And he ended up only living 14 weeks from his diagnosis.
Wow, I wasn't expecting for emotions to pop back up after reliving that, but that truly was a catalyst that started us on our health journey, and specifically just understanding that there is a correlation between diet and disease. I think a lot of us, especially when we're young, we don't really think about it at all, or we think it's just the luck of the draw, like disease happens, or maybe we think about genetics. But the truth is, most disease is preventable with good nutrition. I love that quote that says, "Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger." And I think for most of us, even just being on this call, we are somewhat conscientious about our health. And so we realize there are certain things we need to eliminate or reduce, such as processed foods or sugar. But what we came to learn is it's so much more than that. It's just not getting rid of wrong things, but actually consuming enough of the right foods. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I follow Dr. Mark Hyman, and he says that Your fork is your most powerful tool for change in your life and health. And we're hearing a lot too about the correlation between our diet and mental health. So I think you all will be very encouraged by what you hear tonight.
Wow, hearing that story, and I've heard it before, but it does make you wake up and say, okay, am I doing everything I can to really move the dial on my health? And so tonight, kind of similar to what we just heard from Allison and Susan, is just what can we do? We don't need to be sitting ducks waiting. We can be proactive. In America today, we're not very healthy. 1 in 4 of us will die of heart disease. I lost my father in 2016 to heart disease. You heard from Allison and Susan as they shared, their dad was 1 in 3 who developed cancer and didn't even know he had it until it was literally too late. So prevention is the key. One in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. In this staggering comment from Dr. David Katz from Yale University says our children are more harmed by poor diet than by being exposed to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. That is a staggering statement. You know, we are bombarded these days with toxins, and it's hard to get away from them when you think they're in our water, it's our pollution in our air, pesticides, prescription drugs. I mean, you name it, and our bodies are being bombarded with toxins, and it's hard to get away from that. Not to mention that our food is decreasing, and that more than 50% of Americans what they eat is processed foods that have preservatives, emulsifiers, GMO, trans fats. And I think that statement at the bottom, broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients before you even purchase it. Susan, I'm apologizing. I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm used to just going through
That's
this.
okay. You're doing a great job. You're so used to doing this. That last statement that Elaine just said, I want to explain that because people are probably thinking, what does that mean? Broccoli could lose 50 to 80%. It's not just broccoli alone. It is all of our fruits and vegetables. And what that means is if you are in your grocery store, wherever you shop, look at your produce. A lot of the times it's coming from Central America, Mexico, because we can't grow everything in our climate. And consequently, they have to pick it super early. So by the time they ship it and put it on the shelf, it's not rotten. But what we have found out, the very last 24 hours on the vine, when it's vine ripened, that's when all of the nutrition gets in it. So even when you think you're doing well and you're buying produce, it's not as densely nutritious as we think it is. So we're supposed to have 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies a day. I don't know about y'all, but I kind of start to think about my breakfast plate, my lunch, my dinner. I'm not getting 7 to 13. And that is for just healthy people. If you are an athlete, you need more. If you are a pregnant woman, you're eating for 2, you need more fruits and vegetables. If you are fighting disease, cancer, you need more. And how do you do that? First of all, why do we need so many? I just mentioned our produce is picked before it's fully developed. It has to go thousands of miles, and 90% of Americans aren't eating enough servings. And we're certainly not getting the variety from the rainbow. Think about all the beautiful colors of fruits and veggies. And I know I probably eat the same, maybe 3 to 4 fruits, maybe the same 3 to 4 veggies. And then a lot of times, unless it's a salad, our vegetables are cooked at night and then they even lose something. So even when we're eating it, it's not as densely nutritious because it was picked early, or it's not the variety. So what do we need to do to be healthier? We all know that, as Elaine said on that first slide, Americans are not healthy. So what do we need to do? We need to get up and move. We need to exercise. We all know sleep is so important. We need to get close to 7 to 8 hours. stress. We can't avoid stress. Stress is so bad for us, and most of us have learned different ways to manage it. We need to drink a lot more water. We need safer products. All these things go into being healthier, but what we're going to focus on tonight is eating real food. This quote is crazy, but it's true. The news isn't that fruits and veggies are good for you, it's that they're so good for you that they could save your life. This quote on the bottom, will only 1 in 10 adults consume enough fruits and veggies daily. Only 1 in 10. And I'm thinking about a quote, Elaine had showed it earlier, and it was from Dr. David Katz. He is the founder of the Yale Griffin Prevention Research Center up at Yale University. And he has a quote, and I want to read it so I'm not misquoting it. Children born in the year 2000 or later are not expected to outlive their parents. That is mind-blowing. In the last century, we, came up with medicines, we came up with healthier things, and we were living longer and longer. But our children after 2000 to the present, they're not supposed to live longer because of what they're eating and all the disease.
That brings us to the question, what is it then that's causing this decline? And we talked about several different things, but the bottom line is all disease comes from either oxidative stress or inflammation. And if you're not familiar with that oxidative stress, I love this picture because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Oxidation, we need oxygen to breathe. But that oxygen, when it hits our cells, it begins to deteriorate, just like with this apple. You can see on the left side where the oxygen has hit the apple, you see the aging, which comes disease, and then eventually the apple becomes rotten. So the bad news is oxidative stress causes aging and disease. But the good news is antioxidants, which come from fruits and vegetables, create a protection around our cells to protect ourselves from that oxidative stress. So if you see the right side of the apple that's been treated with lemon juice, which lemons are fruits, fruits have antioxidants, it puts a protective layer against that oxygen. And that's what's happening with inside our bodies. When we consume a lot of fruits and vegetables, what we're doing is just protecting our body. The more we can get in our body, the lower we reduce our disease across the board. This too is a picture that stands out to me because I think as Americans, we've been conditioned to believe, oh, you take a vitamin supplement and that's the way we protect ourselves from disease. Well, if you look on the left-hand side, you see it says supplemental facts. These are isolated synthetic vitamins that have been made most likely in a laboratory. And on that first one, you see vitamin A, 10,000 units. There's no fruit or vegetable out there that have over 10,000 units of vitamin A. That's a toxic load. Really, it truly is. And I saw that very thing happen 20 some years ago when my husband and I got started. It was 1999 and we decided it was going to be the year of health. So we started taking a vitamin supplement. And shortly thereafter, my husband's iron numbers went sky high, like dangerously high. The only thing we knew was to get back off of this vitamin supplement. And sure enough, his numbers went back down into normal range. And so for us, what that did was it gave us an aha moment that if I want to protect against disease, it doesn't happen from an isolated synthetic vitamin. It has to come from whole food. And that's what sent us on a journey of how can we be the healthiest we can be? How can we be proactive with our health? If you look to, and I won't have anyone read anything on that right side, that is 400 of the 14,000. It was 10,000. I think it's up to like 14,000 phytonutrients in an apple. So the nutrients in an apple, we haven't even discovered all that it can do in our body. But we know it is that phyto stands for fight. It's fighting for our body, keeping our bodies healthy. And it's a little bit of everything working together synergistically, not taking a few extracts from either the lab or from a fruit or vegetable and extracting them and then mega dosing them to the point our body doesn't recognize it. We want all that synergistically, those nutrients working together in our body. That's where protection comes from. That's where good health comes from. And that's why we want to focus on whole food and not on any kind of multivitamins or supplements.
So my husband and I took a lot of vitamins. Actually, I talked about our health journey, and when we started, we knew that even on our best days, we weren't getting what we needed from our diet. So we did take multivitamins, and that's as we continued to learn and educate ourselves, we learned that we need to get our minerals and vitamins from our food. So Juice Plus is 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries. They come in capsules or chewables, and it's harvested at the peak of ripeness. So Susan talked about how our grocery store produce is picked early. So the produce in Juice Plus is vine ripened, so you have it's very nutritionally dense. The produce is also pulverized. It's dried into powders at low temperatures to preserve the nutrients. And I want to point out that the whole fruit, when possible, is pulverized. The pit, the seed, the peel. And the reason that's important is just take an orange, for example. 80% of the vitamin C in an orange is in its peeling. Now, I don't know about all, but we don't eat orange peels in our house. So I love that that is pulverized into the plant pouch. We also have a full spectrum omega blend that we're going to talk about in just a minute. So I love this picture. And if you look at this wide variety of produce, you're going to see some things that you do not eat regularly, whether it's that you don't care for them, or maybe you can't even find them in your grocery store. And so I think that a lot of us feel like we're healthy, but we're eating the same fruits and vegetables over and over, which is normal. We're going to eat what we like. Beets, for example, are something I know is super healthy, and I still occasionally, with good intentions, buy them only to throw them out 2 weeks later when they're rotten at the bottom of the grocery store. So I'm very thankful that we're getting those. But even in the berry blend, if you see the bilberry and black currant, I don't know that I've ever actually bought those. I also want to point out the lemon peel. That is a natural source of folate. So for young women who are planning to get pregnant or are pregnant, that is also a great source of folate. So our omega blend is 100% plant-based. Most omega supplements are fish-based and offer only omega-3 fatty acids. Juice Plus is a full spectrum omega containing omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and it comes from the algae. So we skip the middle fish because actually fish get omega-3 from the algae in the sea. It also has sea buckthorn berries, pomegranate seeds, raspberry seeds, safflower seeds, tomato seeds. And so you have no worry about the mercury that can be in fish, the aftertaste, that fishy aftertaste. It's pure and sustainable. It's cold pressed, which is super important because that maintains the nutrients and the freshness. And then Elaine touched on oxidation and the damage that that can do. So Juice Plus safeguards against oxidation with a nitrogen bubble before enclosing that vegan capsule. So we know omegas are beneficial for our heart, our brain. As we age, that's super important, but also for focusing, memory, our joints, skin, and eyes. And also, we hear a lot of the omega helping with depression. We know a friend who actually took, I think, 6 omegas a day and was able to get off antidepressants, which is really powerful. So Juice Plus is unique, and what stood out to us is that it is food. In fact, if you have a multivitamin in your home and you look at the back of the bottle, you'll see that the label says supplement facts. The Juice Plus fruit, vegetable, and berry blend powders, actually, and I just realized there was something I wanted to say about that in just a second. But anyway, you'll see that it has a nutrition facts label, just like a bag of produce in the grocery store. It is made with non-GMO ingredients. It's vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. It's also NSF certified. And that is super important. If you Google up NSF certification, it is ensuring us, the consumer, that what is on the label is exactly what's in the product. There are no banned substances. And what's really cool is that we have the NSF for sport certification. So what I just remembered I wanted to share is this is so exciting, but the United States Performance Center in Charlotte, North Carolina has partnered with the Juice Plus company to provide the fruit and vegetable and berry plant powders to all of their athletes that train there. And y'all, that is our Olympic athletes that are training there. And I just love, we hear a lot about people who are physically fit, but not nutritionally fit. So I love this partnership and that they're going to be fueling their athletes with these plant powders. It's also the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world. And we're going to dive a little bit into the research.
I love this part about our research because I've been doing this now, what did I say, 23 years. I've never seen any other product out there that can hold a candle. Most of the time, nobody has any research. And if you're looking at a pharmaceutical, usually 1 or 2 research studies and they're on the market. Juice Plus's research count is up to 48 peer-reviewed studies at this point. They're randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, tested on the product itself, human clinicals, trials, published in peer-reviewed journals, and done in an ethical way. These are some prestigious universities and hospitals that have researched Juice Plus. One of my favorites is, if you look to the bottom, Wake Forest University. That study was on head and neck cancer patients. And I love the fact that our actual government is helping fund that study, the National Institutes of Health. And so the first time ever that they have put research behind a whole food concentrate such as Juice Plus. So to me, this brings a lot of peace of mind knowing that Juice Plus is being researched by third-party universities and research centers around the world. So what's all this research? What does it point to? It contributes to our cardiovascular wellness, just our inflammatory response in our bodies, which, if you remember, we go back to all disease comes from oxidation and inflammation, supports quality of health, supports healthy cholesterol, LDL and triglyceride metabolism. The gut microbiome, we're hearing more and more about the impact that has on all of our health. And to know that Juice Plus plays a role in our digestive health is huge. It supports healthy lung function, healthy skin and gums, supports an immune system. Who doesn't want an immune system functioning at tip-top capacity? It helps maintain healthy DNA. Our DNA changes over every year. Are we getting stronger and healthier? Or are we going backwards? Reduces oxidative stress, absorbed by the body, and it improves several key cognitive functions. I love what Dr. Richard Du Bois has said. There's nothing else available any place in the world, with or without a prescription, that's been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. And one of the things I think that makes Juice Plus unique in this whole realm of research is we have what's called our family health study. And so that any child between the ages of 4 all the way through the age of young adult, age 25, can get Juice Plus for free along with an accompanying adult. And if you can, so at this point, I think it's well over 2 million families have gone through this study and experience. We've tracked them to see what kind of impact is Juice Plus having on these children. I love the fact that we want to have a role in health in future generations. And what we found, you can see here, 61% were eating more fruits and vegetables once they got started on Juice Plus. You put whole food in your body's going to begin to crave more. It's called the wisdom of the body. 71% were consuming less fast food and soft drinks. 66% were visiting the doctor less. 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter or prescription drugs. That is a process that is impacting future generations, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And tonight we have our very own, let me stop the screen for a second, Riley Mitchell, who Riley started on our Children's Health Study. She's 20 now, and so she has experienced the impact of Juice Plus. So Riley, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I started taking Juice Plus when I was, I want to say 16. My mom had come home with it about the same time that a little girl I babysit was experiencing a lot of a pretty serious skin condition. And she had started taking Juice Plus around. So she started taking Juice Plus around the same time that I had. I watched it significantly heal her face, which was just, it was almost miraculous. It was just really amazing. So, if my mom telling me to take it, wasn't enough, that definitely did the trick. So I started taking it a lot. And then my own, I guess, like Juice Plus experience happened when I got the flu 2 weeks before our national dance team championship. I was a competitive dancer in high school, and our national competition was the most important and most excited anticipated event of the year. And I got the flu and was told I was going to be in bed for 2 weeks and then I was going to miss the whole thing. But my mom said, no way. And we loaded up on Juice Plus, and truly, thanks to Juice Plus, I spent one day in bed. And then after that was totally good to go. It was pretty amazing. It just helped me bounce back, which was pretty incredible. That was on the, I guess, more physical sick side of things. I'd also like to add the Omegas. They significantly helped me during that time when we did a lot of changing up of routines and just a lot going on. When I started doubling up on Omegas, that substantially helped me, which was really exciting. And such a cool thing to witness, that just, adding something to my diet, and then noticing it cognitively so quickly and tangibly was really, really cool. So I loved it, and I started sharing it with a lot of people. And yeah, I was sharing it before I could even sell it. I was just so excited about it. And that was when I was 17. And then my old coach, she said, she saw that I loved it so much and was sharing it with people already, that when I was 18, she encouraged me to sell it so I could share it with more people. And I did that. And, aside from the fact that you're sharing something so good with other people, it also just made so much sense to start something and know that the work that you put in is going to be, it's not ever going to go to waste. I'm 21 now, so it's been 3 years, and I'm in school now at UGA. And the work that I put in when I was 18 and didn't have a lot on my plate is it's still paying off today. I get a check every month. I get a customer here and there, which is really exciting. Just, again, it's something I totally think makes so much sense. nutritionally, but also just, economically, it is a brilliant, it has a brilliant business plan that is so cool to me and captivating to me that, while I can't work on it, um, full time right now, it's really cool to say, I can have a conversation here or there and bring something so good to someone else. And like I said, that goodness can continue on a nutritional and, um, income level 3 years later. So it's just,
Riley, somehow you are on mute.
sorry. Sorry, well, I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, it's amazing for a million reasons. I'm so glad I started taking it when I was younger and still taking it today. And yeah, so thankful.
Thank you so much, Riley, for sharing. And I love her story on so many different levels. But I think number one is seeing her take advantage of the Children's Health Study. And then now, while she's in school, taking advantage of just an income stream that was created in the process. So you've heard tonight, and we'll wrap things up here, just how unique our product is, whether it be that it is a food label, 100% food, the NSF certification, the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world. We have so many in the medical field recommending Juice Plus because of the research. We're the largest selling nutritional product of its kind. And then what you just heard from Riley is the benefits of, with one adult, every child, a child can get on Juice Plus for free. Not only is our product unique, but you heard Riley touch a little bit about the fact that this business model is unique as well. And it creates an income stream if you would like it to. For $52, you sign up, you can get your own product at wholesale. And you can share it with others, just as Riley shared in her story. You can work from anywhere. For me personally, I had just quit my job. I'm a certified financial planner, and I'd quit my job to stay home with my two daughters. And suddenly I was missing 50% of the income that I was used to having come in. And we were taking Juice Plus. And I absolutely loved it. Like Riley, I was telling everyone about it. And at one point, my husband looked at me and he said, "You love this product so much." He goes, "Maybe you need to see if you can become a rep." And I started laughing because I said, "I can't sell anything." And I remember my husband saying, "No, but you tell everybody you know if you like something." And so that was how my journey started. I wanted to create an income stream, but I didn't want to do it if it was going to take me away from my girls. And so this was a unique opportunity for me to be able to lock arms with a company that I believe so heavily in the product. It's a consumable product with a very small focused product line. Fruits and vegetables cover pretty much the gamut of what we need. You can create a supplemental income stream, a part-time or a full-time income stream. Up to you. There's no requirements or demands on you. And I loved that in Riley's story. She had more time a few years ago, but she's still able to share it as she goes and how it works in her life today. No inventory, low overhead. There's all kinds of support to allow you to help you be successful at whatever you want. All positions are permanent. I get a business incentive bonus, which is to help me invest back into my business. And that at our national marketing director level package, it is a full benefits package: medical, dental, vision, life insurance, long-term disability, chiropractic care, family tuition. When I had two girls in college, I loved going to the mailbox and picking up a check to offset my tuition. And as I said, a monthly allowance. So we invite you this evening, whether you want to join as a customer, which is what I started out as, And, but then I quickly moved into that second part there where I was sharing it with all my friends. And maybe as you were hearing this evening's talk, maybe some people's names start rolling around in your head. And maybe you'd like to share it with 3 or 4 people. Or maybe you're sitting out there and kind of where I eventually got was, I want to create an income stream. I was passionate and still am 23 years later about inspiring healthy living. And I know for me personally, it keeps me on track when it comes to my health and always trying to take my health to the next level. And so maybe you're like, you know what, I want out of the rat race. I'd love to be able to create a substantial income stream, and you can do that as well. So whatever, we hope that you join us in some level and at some capacity. This is an amazing product with an incredible opportunity to create an income stream as well. But we hope that you will get back to the person who invited you this evening. We'll stay on the call and answer any questions you may have. So feel free to ask questions. But thank you all for spending a few minutes with us this evening. And we appreciate you joining us on the call.